The world is experiencing increasing numbers of refugees as a result of wars and failed democratic processes, placing a big burden on their lives and those of host communities. Uganda, which has the highest population of refugees in Africa, now standing at 1.5 million, is one of the 4 countries in Africa, which include Kenya, Ethiopia and Somalia, implementing projects to support refugees and host communities access better services and improve their quality of life. The projects are an initiative of the Djibouti-based Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, funded by the World Bank. In Uganda, the Development Response to Displacement Impacts Project, DRDIP, covering 15 districts in West Nile and Western regions, is being implemented by the Office of the Prime Minister, supported by the Inspectorate of Government, which is responsible for ensuring transparency, accountability and anti-corruption TAAC during implementation, focusing mainly on citizens' participation.
When people are sensitized, then they own the concept of accountability, and they go out and monitor and hold even their leaders accountable, and they work with the authorities and government to ensure that the programs are delivered. So it's very important to involve people in your activities, government activities, to make them people-based, because then the people own them and protect them and look out, generally provide oversight. And the oversight that is provided by the general public is, I think, the best oversight.
DRDIP focuses on increasing access to basic services infrastructure like health centers, roads, bridges, schools, and piped water schemes. The project also supports environmental protection activities like tree growing by encouraging beneficiaries to have woodlots to meet their requirements. Energy activities supported under the project include making of charcoal briquettes and energy-saving stoves. Under the project, refugees and host communities are supported to improve their livelihoods through grants to community interest groups to implement income-generating activities like goat rearing and fish farming, which they undertake together. Revolving funds are also provided for savings and credit groups to borrow and grow their individual enterprises and improve their economic well-being. The Inspectorate of Government has ensured that TAAC is built into the design of the project and an important part of the management and monitoring function.
The Inspectorate introduced a strategy called TAAC, which is a dynamic, multifaceted strategy and very significant tool in the fight against corruption. And TAAC is about strengthening transparency, accountability, and anti-corruption. So in that strategy, we are able to monitor government programs and projects right at the grassroots. Because TAAC is about strengthening transparency and accountability, it's an intervention that helps us to mainstream our initiatives in the fight against corruption, and it's an intervention that we have rolled out to government ministries, departments, and agencies. And it basically aligns with the public sector program as well.
The key focus areas were mainly 4. That is sensitization and awareness, participation and involvement of citizens, corruption risk monitoring and control, and complaints or grievance handling.
Inspectorate of Government carries out public awareness activities in the project areas, which include public gatherings and barazas, where people are informed about how to identify corruption, how and where to report corruption cases. Inspectorate of Government officials, together with other project stakeholders, carry out regular programs to sensitize the general public and raise awareness about corruption. They encourage the public to be watchdogs over the project activities because they are the intended beneficiaries and any failures ultimately affect them when they lose the expected benefits.
The community participation is one of the strongest elements in the TAAC components through what we call the citizens' engagement. The second element in this TAAC is what we call in itself promotion of accountability. We call it social accountability. It's not that we just want indeed to see the accountability in form of papers and figures and signatures and all that which we are used to. We would like to stretch this into accountability along the processes of implementation, accountability in terms of the actual results on the ground and the relevance of these results to the lives of the people, getting the impacts that we're talking about. And that's where we have the social accountability.
As part of its strategy to increase citizen participation in public projects, the Inspectorate of Government has worked with a number of civil society organizations to create a big mass of trained corruption watchdogs called Community Monitoring Groups, CMGs, who play a big role in promoting TAAC in the project areas.
So far, I think we have trained around 1,800 community monitors, and basically because they were trained to monitor government programs and also instill that sense of responsibility to know that they are the beneficiaries of these government programs and therefore they should take a hand in monitoring and their implementation and even evaluation.
The intention of training these community monitoring groups, the whole instance was we are looking at curbing corruption in the community. So we had various concepts that we trained them, and one of them was on how to detect corruption in the community under DRDIP, but also looking at the entire government programs for us to make sure that there's value for money and we have effective service delivery. Then too, we also trained them about grievance handling in the community. We realized that everything will not be taken to IG, even if they are the ones who have initiated the program. So we thought we'd give them the skills for them to handle certain issues at ground level in the process of doing grievance handling. We also took them through a community scorecard where they would have meetings at a service delivery point, let's say like a health center. Thereafter, they call a meeting, involve the duty bearers, and then we identify issues that are going well in that particular area and that are not going well, and then we also get commitments from the duty bearers so that we do a follow-up and make sure these issues are addressed. Then we also had a component of community engagement. We're giving them this skill of how do you engage the community? How do they embrace these government programs to ensure that we have effective service delivery and we don't lose money as taxpayers?
Community monitoring groups have played an important role in identifying many cases of malpractice in the project implementation, impacting on quality of work and value for money. The community monitors have been particularly instrumental in helping the Inspectorate of Government to effect the strategy of early detection and consequently early resolution of project implementation issues that may be TAAC related.
We are supposed to, for instance, look at areas of corruption. These are examples of government officials engaging in corruption, civil servants, community leaders, like even these politicians, those cases, and maybe these other activities like, say, government activities, look at works, road constructions, government offices, let's say, and other services.
Community monitors reported many cases of malpractice like overcosting in the procurement of equipment by a service provider supporting a tomato growers group in Kaboya, Hoima district.
Itwe nka DRDIP ekija kutuyamba yatuhereze sente ezo kuhinga twarabira mu kuhinga twahinga twamara twahereze bija batuhereza umuntu wo kutugura ebintu yatugura ekyabire kitako basika twaleba yatugura beye ndingwa muno kawota pampa akajibara miliyoni 8 kandi twagire kureba twarebera kugura nka miliyoni 1 hata hompa nibwe twabire nitweyambisa abo twabire ntukora nabo tukuheza tweyambisa na IGG hari kuyija harakora ki harabuliriza harashangaga ry'amazima kuyaherize hejesha ntura ngo sente zitu akazitugaruzera no twabire ntukora nawe ebire bitubire tutakimureba karuga.
In many cases, the community monitors resolved issues at the project sites with contractors and other service providers, like in the case of shoddy work at a school project in Kajaho sub-county, Isenjiro district.
We are majorly trained to do monitor the activities that will be done. There were some challenges we monitored, and we took some of the pictographs on that very challenges because some got some cracks, and we called those people, the in charge, the foreman and the engineer, and we showed them that problem. We told them this is not the way how the government money should be used. We used it to monitor when we are like 3 or 4, but we decided to call the whole group of CMGs and talk to the engineer. And even he removed all those things, the ceiling, they removed them because they had some cracks. So it means they were on a shoddy program. So they removed it. They told us that we are going to redo it other than reporting us very far. And as of now, it is on the proper state.
So on moving around, I spotted this advert. I saw at the district quarter notice board. I had to call the chief. I said, some advert had been put here. We don't understand these people here. Then he quickly said, you take the photo, immediately take the photo. So I had to capture the photo of the advert and printed it out and put in our file. That's the beginning of how we started complaining, sending our complaints. Why this thing is being done by not the real owner of the project. And the signatory there in the advert is by one person. How can you find a chairperson signing on behalf of the secretary, on behalf of the treasurer in the advert? We started sensing that something is wrong somewhere.
Interventions by the Inspectorate of Government in DRDIP saved significant amounts of project funds, like the recovery of 1.2 billion shillings misappropriated in Lamo district, meant for the construction of the cultural leaders' premises.
The money for this project, which was amounting to about 1.2 billion, about 800 million was stolen by the project team that were set. They were supposed to open an account in Kitgum, they opened an account in Gulu, and they mismanaged the whole thing. They managed to steal about 800 million. But with the effort of the IG, they were able to be tracked, and the perpetrators were arrested, and part of the money were recovered. And that is why you can now see behind us, the building is standing. And earlier on, we visited the cultural center. These were the two projects which were joined together to make the sum of the 1.2 billion.
Contractors and other service providers acknowledge that oversight scrutiny by the community monitors and other beneficiary groups has positively impacted on the quality of their work.
So we have done this work, people are praising because of close supervision. The IG auditors, and the CPMC, with the staff of the school even, they frequently came here to check on this work. Wherever they have seen any problem, they can call me. We interact with them. I can tell them what is needed or what is not like this. Whenever they see it's something bad, sometimes even I will say, okay, maybe they have brought this one when I was not there on the site, so I will tell them to remove. There was a time when the IG came, when I was not there, they brought aggregate, which it was a little bit having imperative, and it was somehow has porous. So they came and then we said, no, this aggregate we are not going to use. And we picked it there and then when they were seeing, even we called our vehicle, they came and picked the aggregate. That's why you are seeing the work is going on well. Nothing is bad, and we are cooperative. When we are doing the work, we have to be cooperative.
Because of DRDIP project, they ensure that the bosses are the local people. Since they are compensating for their displacement due to the refugees around, so they are my bosses. I have to respect them when they come to my side. They advise, I have to say, I have to pick their advice. I do whatever they tell me to do. So I don't neglect them because they are not technical or what, but I listen to whatever they say.
The performance of community monitoring groups throughout the implementation of DRDIP has been impressive and has substantially impacted on the quality of the project outputs.
Hapa tuko na shule Kondo Primary School. Tulipata bahati kutoka kwa DRDIP kwa kutupatia shule wajenge ya classroom 3. Sasa sona ambao wameleta ilikuwa mbaya. Inakamatana na dongo pamoja na imechangana. Nikawauliza ile stone itafanya kazi kweli kwa nyumba kwa kujenga, ninaona kama iko mchanga, bulongo ndani. Ule driver ilikuwa nasema hapana, ile iko nini ya mzuri sana. Nasema mimi kuona kitu hii banafanya naye majengo ya material mimi bado ona. Wakati ile kidogo hivi tunaona dada huyo Ajiji ameisha somera tayari. Wakati anaona kitu ile, anasikia maelezo ambayo tunasema kwako ya kama wasiendelee na kazi na bwana endelea na kazi. Ajiji kama bado ingizana hapa, kama majengo pana kuya mzuri, ingekuwa mbaya tu. Tunasema asante kwa kukuja yake, njoo naenda tia nyumba nafanya nini. Unaona leo iko naonekana kama namona hiyo.
In collaboration with about 60 civil society organizations on the ground, we have trained over 1 million citizens. As I told you, we trained them on how to be proactive when projects are being implemented. And in this process, we have also monitored over 12,000 sub-projects under DRDIP. In those areas where we monitor, there is increased accountability, there is increased project quality. When you look at the projects that have been implemented under DRDIP, if you look at the infrastructure projects, you'll see that they are the best in the country. There is also improved whistleblowing. People are free to come and report to us anytime because we have different contacts, even with the use now of technology, mobile phones. We also had a system where they would just send SMSs and we receive the complaint. So there has been increased whistleblowing and also the community interaction with the district leaders or the implementers. Previously, the community would think it is the district or government workers who are responsible. But the communities get involved and participate and increase the ownership.
Another key focus area of the Inspectorate of Government is corruption risk monitoring and control, which is built into the project design to ensure that corruption mitigation mechanisms are functional during implementation. Officials of the Inspectorate of Government carry out project site visits to physically ascertain progress, follow up on complaints, and share any concerns that may be raised by stakeholders.
As the Inspectorate of Government, when we are informed, we swing into action and move and do the on-spot checks and be able to detect and put these people to book. Where we have found shortfalls, we use the powers of the Inspectorate of Government, and we've had to arrest and have some of them actually prosecuted because we have issues of implementing partners abandoning projects. But we have also good success stories where implementing partners have done a very good work, tremendous work in the countryside under Dr. DIP and under USMID as well.
The Deputy IG visited the press, of course basing on the alarm that the project was not running so smoothly. So when she reached at the venue, she visited, she toured the press and noted there were some issues that needed immediate attention. But the contractor was not seen, but she directed that the contractor should be arrested. So when in the process, the contractor came back, but he proved to the district that he was unable, and he proposed to subcontract the project. So when the project was subcontracted, then the new contractor took the mantle and he has moved, he has been working up to this level where at least we can see most of the work moving up to like 95%.
During these visits, the Inspectorate of Government officials meet with different project stakeholders, including the district implementation teams, service providers, community procurement and community management committees, and representatives of beneficiaries to share information on project activities and discuss challenges experienced and how to address them.
Previously, when I came to Lamont, we identified certain gaps. We got into engagement with the district technocrats. We pointed areas where there are red flags and we said we need improvement. And today I'm happy to note that there has been great improvement. And most of the projects we have seen are at 95% and above, meaning that we are hopeful that by the time Dr. DIP completely winds up, we will have completed, we will have the projects commissioned.
A key element of the TAAC component implemented by the Inspectorate of Government is the grievances and complaints handling mechanism designed to ensure that there is quick detection and quick resolution to avoid delays in project implementation.
Under the project, the complainant always bring up their complaints. They are recorded in our grievance redress complaint logbooks, and then they are addressed by the grievance redress committees, and then feedback is also given to the complainants. I want to say that this is a very good initiative by the Office of the IG. It has promoted transparency. It has promoted involvement of the beneficiaries in the projects that they will have. And finally, we have been able to have projects delivered, some of them in time, but most importantly, we have received quality works in these projects.
Implementation of TAAC under Dr. DIP has provided opportunity for the Inspectorate of Government to learn lessons for intervention in other government projects and programs.
We have now proven to a high level of satisfaction that this can work, that this can yield fruit, that people can welcome. We need, the Office of the IGG needs to popularize this, needs to go out there. Already I am glad they are promoting citizens' engagement as the basis for fighting corruption. Let everybody contribute. Let everybody be at watch. Let everybody understand that they can do much more, not just be passive and complain. but can we provide the lessons from the TAAC component to know how this can even be done in a structured way? We have got modules that we created for teaching and sensitizing our people on the fight. Can we bring this to a much more popular application? I think that lesson, even as a way forward, is something we must embrace.
Because we have been in lamentation for long, we need the citizens to wake up and take action by reporting, detecting cases of corruption, and reporting. In doing so, we'll be joining hands in the war against corruption, because the war against corruption needs a holistic approach where everybody is involved, everybody is engaged, in order to clean our country of corruption and contribute to national development.
Resources being available, we intend to make TAAC part of every activity of government, so that that means that people's oversight is involved in every activity of government.